Judge Murphy, you'll be going first on this next question. Given both the potential environmental impact of coal and the pain consumers feel at the gas pump, should we shift more of our energy use towards natural gas?
I think the real challenge is right now, if you look, I've already looked ahead at the spot market on gas, and you've seen price fluctuations in natural gas that have gone anywhere $4 or $5 up to $11, $13 an MCF. You're seeing oil and gas companies in Oklahoma right now shutting in production, cutting back on drilling, because they're very concerned about this broad fluctuation in price changes on the natural gas side. The bottom line is, if we haven't learned it before, we should learn it now. There is no one answer to our energy problems and energy issues. It takes diversification. It's going to take natural gas, it's going to take clean coal, solar, wind, even evolving fuel sources that we maybe don't even recognize at this point in time. It's real important to make sure that we're looking at a broad-based fuel source to generate power. I think we even need to be looking at nuclear. It's very costly at the present time, but I still think it's something that we need to continue evaluating. If you look around at other states around us, some of them have it. You look at France, 80% or more of their power is generated by nuclear energy. You look in the military, and they've also been using nuclear power. We have got to push and promote technology moving forward. If you look in the oil and gas industry, I can tell you when I was a geologist, we didn't go out and look for oil and gas in shales. We looked for it in sandstones and limestones, and we weren't drilling mile-long horizontals. That's the changing frontier of the oil and gas industry now in Oklahoma. And every other industry, every other sector of the energy industry is going to have to move forward on technology. Clean coal is a part of what we need to be looking forward to. We don't need to be selling our coal to China, who doesn't have anything in place like we do as far as being concerned about the environment. We need to find a better way to use the resources that we have, because we have an abundant source of that. I think natural gas is a real important fuel for going directly into your stove, going directly to your hot water heater, going directly to your furnace, not just in generating power. I think it's important to look forward at how we can use compressed natural gas in vehicles, but again, there's another challenge. Fill stations, infrastructure are all a part of this, and we're going to have to evaluate where we are now, look at the costs, think farther ahead of where we're going to be and deciding which courses of action are the best to take. But the bottom line is, we need everything we've got. We need to be pushing to market everything that we can do on the technology side, and it shouldn't be a plan here and a plan there and a plan over here. We should be coordinating together to make sure we're making the best use of resources and people in Oklahoma and in America, because Oklahoma can be the energy capital of America. Tulsa used to be the oil capital. We can now be the energy capital of the world, where everyone comes here for their energy issues and things that they need to have worked out. We can help with technology, great universities here educating our future energy leaders. Oklahoma has an opportunity to be at the front end and really help lead the way for America to greater energy independence.
Thank you. I favor putting Oklahoma first in all regards. And right now, that does not mean clean coal. It does not mean clean coal, an additional source of generation, because Oklahoma's coal is not considered clean. In fact, its sulfur content is so high, it's not burned here. So when someone is talking about the need to expand coal power for our state, that is a job creation opportunity for the state of Wyoming, not for us. We need to put Oklahoma first. And that means we need to expand our use of natural gas in every regard possible, because those are Oklahoma jobs and Oklahoma families and Oklahoma's future. We also need to expand wind energy, and I've been a huge advocate for this. You know, Rogers and Hammerstein wrote our state song. I'm not sure if they were ever in Oklahoma or not, but they got it right. When the wind comes sweeping down the plains, that's who we are. Last year, the two largest shareholder-owned utilities in the state of Oklahoma asked to build a 950 megawatt coal plant. As the only one of the two candidates here that attended the trial, that asked the witnesses the tough questions, that read the thousands of pages of testimony, I will share with you that I was proud to say no to them, because we didn't need to indebt the next 3 generations of Oklahomans to an out-of-state fuel source with risky financial equations. That plant, according to the utilities, would have emitted 6.4 million tons of carbon into the Oklahoma sky every year, according to the utility. And they lowballed the cost of carbon in the future to put the risk back on you Oklahomans instead of on their shareholders. In testimony, they admitted to $8.86 per ton. Other testimony across the state last year when we conducted this trial was $17, $18, and even more than that. In fact, some in Congress have suggested the future cost of carbon could be $30. Well, that is an enormous financial risk to you. For the first time in state history, they didn't want to use shareholder money or go to Wall Street. They wanted to raise your rates today to build this plant. It was larger than they needed, and it was the wrong direction. I was proud to deliberate that issue, convince a colleague to join me in saying no to them. What we said no to them was not with our ratepayers' money, not with Oklahomans' rates. If you think it's a great idea, roll the dice with your own money, and guess what? They didn't. Now here's what that opportunity has meant to us. The utility came and said, all right, what's Plan B? Plan B is Oklahoma. It should have been Plan A. They announced an intention to quadruple wind energy. Finally. 10 years ago, we were 50th in the nation in wind power, with the most consistent, reliable wind power on a per square mile basis of any state in the country. It makes no sense, other than corporation commissioners hadn't challenged them to put Oklahoma first. We now are 6th. We're fighting with a few other states that are trying to do something more aggressive, but California and Texas had a 20-year head start. But just like in football, we're about to beat them, because the projection is when we bring on Oklahoma's promise, particularly this week, right? When we bring on Oklahoma's promise, we will not only provide as much as 20% of your utility's electrical generation in the form of wind power, cleaner, cheaper, Oklahoma-based wind blowing right here with free fuel. We will eventually provide 9% of America's total wind power. The Tulsa capital of oil that we were in the 20s and 30s, Oklahoma will be a leader in the next generation of power if we make Oklahoma first. And that right now does not include coal. The notion of cheap coal or clean coal is an oxymoron today. It has value, but it needs to come after we've taken care of Oklahoma's fuel choices first. In relation to that, I'll just share with you briefly. I have endorsed the Pickens plan because I think it takes advantage of natural gas and wind and helps grow our economy. Thousands of new jobs. Ultimately, the attraction of billions of dollars of capital. And I'm proud to have Madeline and Boone's endorsement in my election. But the reality is, we need commissioners that are saying Oklahoma's blessings need to be Oklahoma's fuel source, and that's what I said last year, that's what I'll say next year. Till we bring on all our wind and we use our natural gas, Oklahoma jobs are at risk. We've got to put Oklahoma first.